Hello. I forgot my beverage. That's all right. I think I can make it through the show. Hello, 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 hello. On time, pretty much. Totally. News stories. Hello in the chat. Hello, Mimsy. Hello, Jedi. Hello, Simona, who are here early. Thanks for coming to this show. I'm going to go over the news. The big news is about Trump praising Hitler is how they're going to frame it. Trump praising Hitler. And Trump had to come out and say that he hates Adolf Hitler. So we have statements from Kamala Harris, statements from Karine Jean-Pierre, and then it's all based on an article in The Atlantic, or not completely, but partially based on an article in The Atlantic, which some people will say is debunked. Although I don't know how it's been debunked. Maybe I just haven't figured. It's a developing story. Happened just today. Everybody's talking about it. Hitler. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chrissy Tina. Hey, Luke Sly Talker. Hey, just give me 5 minutes, please. Love you too. Don't boo. Vote. Obama's been out there talking down to black people. That didn't go over very well. So I have some more. I have I have video of black people at a barber shop. Yes. And I wonder if that's the same video. Wonder if that's actually a different video than the other guy who had the reaction to. Okay, so I have somebody else's reaction to what. I think it's maybe separate. So I have two videos, black people talking about how they're going to vote for Trump. Historic. Trump has really changed the world. I mean, he's really changed everything, I think. Politics, parties. Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, really, it's changed what people are willing to put up with as far as behavior from somebody or the things someone says. He's moved the Overton window. He's a new kind of leader. He's different. Things have changed because of him. The Republican Party is maybe forever changed because of him. And now it looks like he's going to win. I was watching a bunch of stuff today. I was just trying to look at a bunch of stuff on early voting. Because some people are saying based on the early vote, it looks like Democrats are freaking out. Because the early voting is so skewed toward Republicans when compared to things like the last election. Which then people go on to say, but you shouldn't draw too many conclusions from early results. We don't know who people are voting for. We just know their party preference. So we're not supposed to draw too much from the early results. But if we were to draw from the early voting results, or they're not results yet, but data, then we would conclude that Trump is doing really well, especially compared to history. So I watched, a bunch of stuff on early voting to see which way it was going. I'm thinking about placing, I said yesterday I wouldn't place a bet, but I'm thinking about maybe betting on Trump to win the popular vote on Predict It. Let's see. Predict It. Do they even have it? Oh, they don't even have that market. Okay. So you can't even bet on a market that's based on the popular vote. Well, Trump leads in the betting odds. I'll give you the update on the latest on those betting odds and polls. We go over that at the beginning of every show. We'll give you the latest on that. See if you could see whether you think the odds will have moved even further in Trump's favor or not. I'll show you. And then there's some claim that there's a story out there about Donald Trump that would end his campaign. There's a claim. I'll just play you that claim. I have a video of Bill Ackman explaining why he likes Donald Trump. I have some campaign commercials. I have Tulsi Gabbard. I have a speech of Tulsi Gabbard where she comes out as a Republican. You guys can decide what you think about that. People like Tulsi more now that she's endorsed Trump. Or there were a lot of Tulsi haters when she was going to be running against Trump. But now that she's endorsed Trump, people are going on board or coming on board to the Tulsi game. So I'll play you guys some of that. She's my choice for president every time. So I would bet on her to, I'm looking forward to the next election because I think there could be a number of good candidates. Vivek, Tulsi. Tulsi's a Republican now. Vivek, Tulsi, JD Vance, of course. But it won't be a closed, it'll be an open primary. We'll get to see if Governor DeSantis does any better this next time. Seems like he's a good governor, just doesn't run for president well or something. Oh, give me 5 minutes, please. What's the cash tag for Nathan? Thank you for asking. Thanks, Job49, who's been a member for 3 months. Really? Good. I hope you're getting a lot out of your membership. Thanks, Job49. You are one of the main super chatters of this show. I can show you this is my cash tag. Just give me 5 minutes, please. That's your name. Or that's, the person in the chat's name. Cash App is $LTV411. I really appreciate those donos. Help me get I think I got my coffee down to $7. Man, coffee's expensive. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'll run our intro and then we'll get started with the show. I'll get you up to speed on the Hitler fascist dictator hoax, people will say. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yep. I should probably restart my computer once in a while because it starts going slow. I don't know if the intro is jerky for you guys or if it causes jerkiness on your end. If so, I apologize. I apologize very much. Thanks for the Cash App dono. Appreciate you. Got a Cash App dono? That's great. Thank you very much. I can use it. Been spending the days researching the news so you don't have to and delivering it to you in approximately an hour, Monday through Friday around 4 p.m. Pacific time. Usually I start a few minutes after, so a notification will go out. I make sure to set it up a half hour in advance. So hit the bell. I mean, if you haven't figured that out already. Thanks, Job49, for the $5 super sticker. What does the super sticker look like? I have to go see it. Let's see. I can't see it in my studio here. Did your screen just go black? Mine did. Come on. I was going to look at the Bitcoin chart for you guys. Bitcoin. I think it's a little down today. Silver went down today, but it's still around $34. It's up a lot in general. So we are going, and the stock market was down today too. Oh, Bitcoin's back to 66.6. Yeah, it was down further today. It was down at 65 something. That's all right. That's good. Hope you guys are buying Bitcoin. If you ever need help with cryptocurrency, just reach out. I do that. I do consulting on the side sometimes. All right. So the Hitler comments. You want to hear what was said? So I have it from an NBC News report. Hopefully they won't hit me for copyright. So I'll share that. Everything looks normal on your end. Thank you guys. Thanks for the feedback. Glad it looks normal on your end. On my end, it's herky-jerky. Everything is running very slow. I'm trying to share my screen with you, in fact, and it's running slow. There, share screen. Okay, and here. So this is what was said about Trump by John Kelly. Here we go. Come on, load up the screen there, big fella. There you go.
Rule of law or the Constitution.
Certainly, the former president is in the far right area. He's certainly an authoritarian. Admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Kelly describing how Trump would praise Nazi leader Adolf Hitler, who orchestrated the systematic murder of 6 million Jews and caused World War II.
He commented once that,
to remind people of that.
Hitler did some good things too.
Kelly's on-the-record first-hand account following similar reporting in The Atlantic, including a private conversation at the White House, where, according to Kelly, Trump asked why his generals couldn't be more like Hitler's generals.
Well, I tell him that. I said, sir, if you, first of all, you should never say that. But if you knew what Hitler was all about from the beginning to the end, everything he did was in support of his racist, fascist life, philosophy, so that nothing he did you could argue was good.
The Trump campaign calling that an outrageous
and the Trump campaign says outrageous lie.
Kelly insisting to the
so there's all the things that Mark Kelly said. John Kelly. Mark Kelly's the astronaut, right? John Kelly. What was he? His former chief of staff? Yeah, that's what it says on the screen. Former chief of Trump has had some people who worked with him who came out and said bad things about him. Normally, that would be something people would take into consideration, but people will probably say that's not true. That's basically what his campaign is saying, is nobody ever heard him say that. He said he wishes Hitler's generals would be more like Hitler's generals. It's here in the Atlantic. Quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, unquote. Trump said in a private conversation in the White House, according to two people who heard him say this. Quote, people who were totally loyal to him that follow orders, unquote. That's apparently what Trump said, according to the Atlantic. Many people are saying this story is debunked. I don't know how you debunk these stories. That's the only problem. You can say, well, nobody heard him say that. It's just, but then, of course, the publication can just say, well, we have our sources. Our sources are good. I don't know if there is a way to debunk it. It's the same with the suckers and losers. They bring that up all the time. That might have been published in the Atlantic as well. The suckers and losers, he said about people who die or get injured because of war. Then I was listening to something else that said Trump didn't like to pose next to amputees. So, and he doesn't understand why people would want to go fight for their government. Says they're stupid, basically. Those are all things people have said that Trump said. So you have Trump saying he wishes he had this kind of generals that Hitler had. Okay. So now I'll give you the reactions. I can give you Karine Jean-Pierre first. I gotta give you guys a new screen so you get audio. I'll present this to you. And Trump came out apparently and said, I hate Adolf Hitler. That's apparently a real post on Truth Social. He apparently has come out and declared that he hates Adolf Hitler, which some people won't like. The most based you can be is to praise Hitler, right? I think then people say you're based if you praise Hitler.
Is the president aware of John Kelly's assertion that Donald Trump meets the definition of a fascist, and that Trump wanted the kinds of generals Hitler had?
I mean, look, you have heard from this president over and over again about the threats to democracy, and the president has spoken about that. You've heard from the former president himself saying that he is going to be a dictator on day one. This is him, not us. This is him. And it's not just us, the White House, saying this. You've heard it from officials, former officials that worked for the former president say this as well. So, do we agree? I know that the vice president just spoke.
Some people
about
are saying this is going to get Trump killed. That's the overreaction side of things. But you never know. I mean, shit, he has been shot at. But the overreaction side of things is like, pray for Trump. He's going to get killed. I don't know if this is much worse than what they've already said. But they're saying he's going to be a fascist dictator. That's what he wants to be. Even if he wanted to be, our institutions wouldn't allow him to be. That's the thing. There are rules and stuff you have to follow, even as president. That's why we have 3 branches of government and so forth, so that we can't have a dictator, even if they wanted to. But
that determination, yes,
got a fearmonger before the election.
Let's not forget, I will point you to January 6th. What we saw on January 6th, 2,000 people were told to go to the Capitol to undo a free and fair election by the former president. It was a dark, dark day in our democracy, and a dangerous one. We have people who died because of what happened on January 6th. And, we cannot forget that. We cannot forget that. And so, and I will add this, that, and I can't believe I even have to say this, but our nation's veterans are heroes. They are heroes. They're not losers or suckers. They are heroes. And to be praising Adolf Hitler is dangerous, and it's also disgusting.
So just to be clear, when you said we do agree, President Biden believes that Donald Trump is a fascist.
I mean, yes, we've said.
Did you hear the question? Himself. Do you and Biden believe that Donald Trump is a fascist? So they're saying yes to all these things, even though, there was after the first assassination attempt, they did talk about turning down the rhetoric, and this is definitely turning it up a notch. But
the former president has said he is going to be a dictator on day one. We cannot ignore that. We cannot. And we cannot ignore or forget what happened on January 6, 2021. That is real. Real people were affected by this.
I think people are kind of over that.
We're trying to protect.
I mean, they've already made up
protect
their mind.
The Capitol, protect law.
They're going to come up with
elected
some new
officials
ideas.
in the Capitol, congressional members, senators, House members. Their lives were ruined because of that day. Because 2,000 people were told by the former president to go there to find the former vice president.
He didn't exactly
to stop
say
a
that.
free and fair election. That is what happened. Some of you, some of your
peacefully.
colleagues were there, reported it, and saw it for yourself. We cannot forget that.
There you go. Chris Hyde says this. Pretty sure there is going to be riots. You want to say there are going to be riots, no matter who wins? Yes, Chris, I'm with you. I mean, I think when it really gets interesting is after Election Day, the day after, November 6th. That's when it really gets interesting. But it looks like, I mean, it's increasingly looking like Trump will win in something like a landslide, a type of landslide, at least by a wide margin. That's what it's looking like because he's winning every single swing state. Oh, I haven't even gone over the odds yet. Usually I do that first. Usually we go to the big board first. But we'll go to that after, no problem. But yeah, the day after the election, that's when things get interesting because both sides will be very upset. And one side may decide to riot in the streets, I guess. Oh, that's Spaldo. Spaldo, how dare you? How dare you? All right, so that's what Karine Jean-Pierre said, which is once again comparing him to Hitler, saying he said he's going to be a dictator on day one. I mean, it's crazy. You can't even make a joke. Democrats definitely like hammer home the same line over and over and over again. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy. Yeah, I mean, they really hammer that stuff home. And then suckers and losers. Both sides, good people on both sides. Go over the same things, which are unproven. If you can't, because I don't know that you can like debunk whether somebody said something in private or not. But everybody denied those other stories. I mean, everybody involved denied those stories, and then the both sides, he just clearly said something different when the good people on both sides hoax. They just hammer, they come back to it and back to it and back to it. It's like, play it again. Suckers and losers. Yeah, that's how the media works with the White House. All right, here's Kamala Harris speaking about it today. About 3 minutes. Oh, I gotta reset it. Somebody is saying Tulsi Gabbard is responsible for losing control of the January 6th Women's March on the Capitol, handing the bullhorn over to Ali Alexander, a friend of hers. She was friends with Ali Akbar? Really? I hadn't heard that. We do have Tulsi Gabbard declaring herself a Republican. Here's Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. I'm sorry. Here's Kamala Harris speaking about Trump praising Hitler, right?
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired 4-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend
This is from the White House, huh?
To criticize him.
I thought you weren't allowed to campaign from the White House. I thought you had to go do your campaigning elsewhere. She must be at the White House, right? She's got the backdrop. Let me see if it says where she is. Oh, it doesn't say. It's from C-SPAN. Okay.
Would qualify in his mind as the enemy within, like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist.
There you
Who
go.
in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable. And in
Increasingly.
a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want? Thank you.
Yeah, people are voting already, Kamala, and you're like losing really bad, apparently. They say it's looking really bad. So yeah, I mean, it's just the thing about political campaigns. I mean, the vote for Kamala isn't a vote for Kamala. It's just a vote against Trump. And I think everybody who's going to be convinced that Trump is literally Hitler has been convinced pretty much. And they're outvoting, that cohort. They're outvoting. I mean, there are Democrats voting already. But they were going to do it anyway. A lot of people hate Trump. It's nothing new. So anyway, I don't know if some people are calling this an October surprise. It's not going to be taken that way. But it shows you like how people don't trust journalism anyway. I mean, they're just going to say it's not true. They just didn't say those things. Who knows? If he had said them, I would see that as, it's not like he's praising Hitler. He's just saying, oh, I wish I had the generals that Hitler had who just do what I say. I wouldn't even see that as that bad. So that's me. I wouldn't even see it as that bad. I would just be like, okay, well, he said that. He obviously doesn't mean it. He's not praising Hitler, even though some people would like it if he did. All right, here's the odds. So that's the latest news. That's the Hitler hoax. I think I played you everything about it. Yeah, I did. That's the Hitler hoax. Let's look at the numbers on Polymarket. That seems to be the most popular thing to quote numbers from. I'll show you that. There's the graph. You can see Kamala came in. It was basically like 50-50 for a while. It was flat. And then recently it's blown out. It looks like it blew out. It was, I think yesterday it was higher. It was like 64%. Now it's 62%. Over on Polymarket, the odds that he's going to win the popular vote, I'd like to see. The odds that he's going to win the popular vote is 38%. But you used to be able to get way better odds than that on the popular vote. But they say it's because one guy bought so many. It's actually come down a little bit. But it was, I mean, there was like 0 chance he was going to win the popular vote. Until, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I see. He's the red line. But yeah, he was way down around 23%. And now he's at 38%. So, and the way it works with these betting markets, you like buy shares and you can actually sell. You can actually sell your shares early if you just want to cash in. So it's kind of like buying stocks or a type of stock. It's just that it pays out at a maximum of 100 cents, $1, and you just buy a share for 62 cents, 38 cents for him to win the popular vote. Yeah, that's the one I would go with because I think he's got because you get better odds, but the odds aren't quite good enough. You should even get longer odds than that. But a few of the polls that came out recently showed Trump leading nationally, Fox News and somebody else. Okay, so I'll show you Predict It. That's the US market, which has it 57 to 48 right now. Kamala Harris up 4 cents today for some reason. Maybe because people think the Hitler thing is a big deal. I don't know. I don't think the Hitler thing is a big deal compared to all. I think it'll just breeze past people. I don't think it's going to change anybody's minds. Jordan Tyler says, how does Polymarket get their odds, especially for an election? What does it say it's sourced by? It's simply based on betting. From what I understand, it's like supply and demand, kind of like however much money, like if more people are betting on Donald Trump, then his odds get worse. The more people bet, the worse the odds get, if that makes sense. The worse as far as how much gets paid off. So if the odds are in Trump's favor, it means there's more money bet on Trump to win. So, and if the odds are less than 50 cents, 38 cents for him to win the popular vote, then that's because more people are betting that Kamala is going to win. That it's like simple as that. It's like the price of a commodity, which pays off at $1. It always pays off at $1 when the event takes place. Eric Harden says, if you can bet on it, it's rigged. Well, everything's rigged in some sense, for sure. Oh, I don't know what that means. So, yeah, the odds are just, it's just based on how people are voting. You say totally by feeling. Yeah, it's like what people are feeling. Similar to how odds work in sports, too. But in sports, it's a little different because they have to set a line. But the line can change based on betting and stuff. The odds change based on how many people bet. But it's different in sports. Somebody actually sets it in sports. A professional of some sort handicaps the race. In this case, nobody's professionally handicapping the race. It's just based on what people think. So that's that. Let's see what 538 is saying right now. Trump wins 51 times out of 100. So it's even odds. And then let's go to the Real Clear Politics. Still has it at 312 for Trump. 270 needed to win. So they still have him with the no toss-up race. And they still have him leading in every single battleground state. Top battlegrounds, Trump +1. National polling now is only Harris 0.6 ahead nationally. So when we started looking, it's just been trending and just everything keeps trending in Trump's direction. Everything keeps trending towards Trump. Oh, and they show everything here. This is really brilliant. Shows how far and then it becomes especially stark when you compare the numbers that Trump is polling at now compared to how he was polling 4 years ago and in 2016. But they have all these odds here, which is great. For example, 4 years ago, Biden was +5 in Pennsylvania, and Trump was so Biden was +5 4 years ago in Pennsylvania, and it was really close. Biden won by 1.2. This time, Trump is ahead in Pennsylvania, almost by a full point, 0.8. 4 years ago in Wisconsin, Biden was ahead by 5.4. This time, Trump's ahead by 0.1. Oops. Hold on. And again, Trump is leading every single thing that's actually really considered a battleground state. So Trump is way ahead in Ohio. So every single state, Biden was leading last time. Now Trump is leading. And in Michigan, for example, they had Trump up +8. They say Muslims aren't going to vote for Kamala. And that's going to send Michigan over the top for Trump, probably. Pretty stunning, though. So there's definitely a chance that Trump could win the general. I mean, could win the popular vote, which doesn't even matter. But there's a real chance he could. Okay, so that's the latest update on those odds. Let's run an ad for our shop. Make sure to get your t-shirts at truthclothing.io. Let's see. There's nothing there. Weird. Man, that's strange. It thinks I'm sharing a screen. There's our sale at truthclothing.io. It's a clearance sale while stocks last. And these are all limited edition t-shirts. Screen printed on very high quality shirts. Everything is on sale, more than 50% off. Not everything, but a lot of things are more than 50% off their full price, which wasn't a crazy price. And we are selling out, so get them while supplies last. There are some shirts as low as $5. Several designs of shirts as low as $5, including one that's made in America, the Freedom of Face shirts, which were a protest against masks. For people who wonder, it's no longer relevant, but a very nice shirt made in America with cotton grown in American fields. It should be like a $50 shirt. $5. $5. Shipping is like $5. So that's easy. You can get one shirt for $10 shipped to your door. That's amazing. Truthclothing.io. Go to the sale page. Be a man. Oh, here's how Kamala's feeling. She looks really bad. I'll share that with you. All right, stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, let's take a look. Delbert Tube says, crap, I missed the show. You didn't miss it. It's still here. I've hardly even covered anything. We're almost 40 minutes in. I only covered the Trump Hitler thing. I still have a lot of tabs open. So sit down, chill out, smoke some reefer. We're going to be here for a second, watching videos together, watching clips from the internet. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. You can leave comments. I haven't read comments for a long time, actually. I should look at those. You leave comments, I'll check them. Have some chutzpah, Marge Shot says. Buy a shirt. Yeah, you got to have them. I have the Nassim shirt. Those are sold out. Sorry, you can't get one. I like to wear shirts you can't even buy anymore. Okay, let's show you Kamala responding to this question of how things are going in Pennsylvania. It seems like not that good. That's all.
Madam Vice President, how are you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown. And I will be continuing to travel around the state to make sure that I'm listening as much as we are talking, and ultimately I feel very strongly that gotta earn every vote. And that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live. And so that's why I'm here. We're going to be spending a lot more time in Pennsylvania.
So that's a hilarious clip. That's just a funny clip. She's like, I'm going to be listening as much as we're talking. But she doesn't look good about, she doesn't look like she's that happy about Pennsylvania. I have this clip. I'll just play it for you. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just means people are trying to shop around an October surprise on Trump. It's a little late, though. The October surprise should come earlier in October, because with less than 2 weeks left, it's hard to change things. Sometimes, like, it takes a little while. But this is the time. October surprise. Oops, no sound. So everybody's trying to shove in their negative stories right at the last minute. That's maybe what the Hitler thing is about. They wanted to save that. Here you go. Here's something.
These last 2 weeks are going to be filled with things like this. And I can tell you, without going into detail, that I've been pitched a story about Donald Trump now for about a week that, if true, would end his campaign. And there's all sorts of things like that flying around. I'm not the only one who's been pitched it.
There you go. So there's a story being pitched to various journalists that Mark Halperin says, if true, would end Trump's campaign. But I thought the grab him by the pussy comment, I thought that was going to end his campaign back in the day. Trump has shown a lot of resiliency against negative press. Like, it seems to bounce off of him. He is kind of the Teflon Don. Here's a crazy person going up to somebody because of their Trump yard sign. And the sound cut out again. I'll show you that. Show you a crazy person going up to somebody's door because they have a Trump yard sign. I'll play that.
I want to know how you can vote.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Shameful.
Are you the one that walks by here and always screaming at people?
No, I haven't walked by recently.
Okay, because a lot of people walk by and scream.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You are voting for the devil. Don't you know that?
No.
Why are you voting for him?
Sounds like Michigan or Minnesota.
Oh my God. You for that one.
That's
Moral?
exactly right. That's how your side acts.
Oh my God.
That's
He's
how
the
you
most
guys,
immoral person around.
in your opinion, that's
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. God bless you.
It's almost reason enough to put up a Trump yard sign just to start fights with people. I have some news about, I'll stick with politics for now. I have some new Trump ads. Like, this is kind of a Trump ad. It's Tulsi, getting into Tulsi Gabbard. That ad, this ad. Okay, so I'll show you different things. I have Bill Ackman explaining why he supports Trump, which Elon Musk posted. I have black people saying they're going to vote for Trump. This show is full of outstanding content. I also have this story about them trying to kill Twitter. That's an interesting story. The British operatives basically trying to kill Twitter. Let's show you this. Maricopa County saying it's going to take 10 to 13 days to tabulate results for the election. Let's see what that's about.
Anyway, very tight races here. In fact, Maricopa County is setting the stage that tabulating all these votes may not be an election night thing. It may take days.
Wow. Well, 12 News journalist Colleen Sikora explains that county leaders are asking voters for patience and to be prepared.
Tight races, high interest in the election, and a two-page ballot are leaving Maricopa County officials warning of lines on Election Day, and also warning it's going to take them 10 to 13 days to tabulate results. 2 pages and an average of 79 contests per ballot.
We are expecting heavy turnout this year, and so that's why we're really encouraging people to vote early.
2 weeks out from Election Day, and some votes are in.
More than 400,000 people have cast their ballot in Maricopa County.
That's out of an anticipated 2.1 million voter turnout this year.
We are seeing a little bit.
It's really amazing. One of the stories, if I'm impressing on you, is that the early vote is really big this year. And well, I've seen different numbers. I'm trying to think of it's at least among Republicans, especially among Republicans. Let's say that. The 2020 election was COVID, so a lot of people voted early then too. But in this case, it's big numbers.
Of a lag of where we were in 2020. But the last few days, we've actually seen an uptick in turnout. So I am expecting that we will start approaching very close to those 2020 numbers.
What can impact the amount of
close to
results
2020,
released and
even
when
though there's no
early
COVID.
ballots dropped off on Election Day.
Our races will be close.
And on Election Day, lines are expected, even with an increase in vote centers and voting booths at those vote centers.
If you're going to vote on Election Day, vote in person and use that on-site tabulator so that those votes will be tabulated on that evening, as opposed to dropping off your early ballot on Election Day.
The county adding more high-speed tabulators, more election workers.
We're increasing staffing at our ballot processing as well, because again, we're handling double the number of the sheets of paper. And so we are looking to both have extra shifts, night shifts, if necessary, in ballot processing, and then in the next step that takes place in election administration, and that's through tabulation.
But tabulation expected to take time.
We do expect that it will take between 10 and 13 days to complete tabulation.
10 and 13 days. So people are, saying that they're setting us up for a steal. Trying to decide what to play you guys next. So that's along the route. Yeah. Well, if Trump wins by enough states, then they won't be able to challenge it or anything. They're just going to deal with it. It won't be the end of the world. There might be riots, but I'd say probably not. People don't feel like rioting anymore. Maybe. Let's see. Curious what you guys think. Whether you think it's going to be riots if Trump... I mean, right now, Trump wins. Trump is leading. Polls are in his favor. And he usually outperforms the polls. So, let's give you some ads, some Trump ads. Let's see. This is a good one, actually. 1M says 10 to 13 days to rig the election. Chris Coates says definitely a setup for the steal. Yeah, it takes them a long time to count Maricopa County. I think there won't be a steal. I think the voting will be pretty good. We'll see. We shall see. I mean, everybody's eyes are open, so it's going to be hard with everybody looking. And there's all these guys monitoring, right? I think Republicans hired a bunch of people, or I don't even know if they're paying them. People volunteering to be poll watchers. Here's an ad. Oh, no sound. Sorry, guys. You had to listen to, let's see how much, 43 seconds of nothing, no audio at all. Terrible. Wow. God bless you. At least everything has subtitles now. Sigh. Deep sigh. I wish my show was better for you every time. You want to see it from the beginning?
As the old saying goes, they say to put your money where your mouth is. Kamala Harris says she stands strong with Ukraine. So strong, in fact, that she has backed up her words with a $175 billion check. How much was the check she wrote to the victims of Hurricane Helene? A measly $750. Kamala Harris prioritizes the needs of Ukrainians, putting the American people last. President Donald J. Trump will put the American people first. He will undo the disasters of the Harris administration. He will make America respected again. He will make the border secure again. He will make America safe again. He will make the economy strong again.
And we will make America great again.
There you go. That's some kind of digital ad for Trump. Paid for by Donald Trump for President 2024 Inc. So it looks like a real campaign ad. And then here's another one. Here's a digital ad. Show you guys. See if the sound. Let's see if it. Yeah, it cuts out the sound every time I change tabs. I have to reshare. Well, it adds extra time to the show. Gives you guys more time to think about super chats, put in your credit card details and everything. Or send me cryptocurrency.
Donald Trump has always loved this country.
I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country. This country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was.
He's always put us first.
I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. That's why it bothers me so much that when we give this kind of money to the wealthiest countries in the world, and yet for our own people, the homeless, the sick, the poor, the farmers who are really going through hell right now, those people we're not helping.
Donald Trump has always been there for America.
Somebody has to help this country. If it were me, that'd be fine. I could do it.
How would you like to be remembered?
Well, as somebody that's contributed something to the United States.
Donald Trump has always fought for America. And he always will.
There you go. Paid for by Donald Trump presidents there. Putting in the ads. His ads are way better than her ads. Her ads, the dudes for Kamala, man, that was Kamala. Those were awful. So those are some Trump ads. Let's give you Tulsi Gabbard. I have like another thing that's kind of like an ad with Tulsi. Yeah, those ads are pretty decent. The one with the Ukraine thing, I mean, that's pretty solid. It's like, why are we just approved another 20 billion or something to Ukraine that we're going to use seized funds to pay back. Doesn't even make sense. Some kind of $20 billion loan to Ukraine. A loan, sure. That, yeah, I believe that. They like if you saw Ukraine's credit score right now, if they had a virtual credit score, it wouldn't be very good. You wouldn't think they'd pay you back. But apparently it's going to be paid back with money we seized from Russia. The interest on money we seized from Russia. All right, here's another thing that's like an ad, actually.
One of the things I'm excited about with President Trump winning is because of the people that he's chosen to surround himself with. Number one, as Charlie said, there are no lobbyists for big pharma and big insurance sitting on the transition team to pick who is going to fill his cabinet. That's a huge difference from any previous administration from either party.
Yeah, they're the biggest lobbyists.
You've got Bobby Kennedy, who is sitting in position and already starting to choose people who recognize how broken our sick care system is and bring about the deeply, the systemic change that we need to see that will actually put our health and well-being first. That's not just about pushing pills on people to make big pharma richer, but actually dealing with the root causes of why our country is so sick and how we can improve life for the American people.
Tulsi's exactly right. One of the reasons, not the only reason,
we spend more per capita on healthcare is that we're actively poisoning our kids in what we put in their cereal, in their food, and the corporations are poisoning us. Donald Trump putting Bobby Kennedy into the administration and on the transition team will be one of the greatest steps forward in protecting American health.
There you go. That's the Make America Healthy Again. See, they have their own. They got a lot of people working on behalf of Trump. Okay, let's show you Tulsi. I have like 6 minutes of Tulsi. Let's see what's good. Speaking at a rally and coming out as a Republican. So let's see if it's good.
Thank you very much. Aloha. You know, I was a Democrat for over 20 years. Today's Democrat, thank you. Today's Democrat Party is completely unrecognizable, which points to the clear choice that we have in this election today. When you look at the party of Kamala Harris, for example, she is anti-freedom, she is pro-censorship, she is pro-open borders, and she is pro-war. Without even pretending to care about peace, as President Trump talked about, she has shamelessly embraced the endorsement and support of warmongers like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and others who care more about power and feeding the military-industrial complex than they care about you, the American people, and peace. President Trump has pledged to end wars, not start them. And this is why, in the eyes of the Kamala Harris, Dick Cheney Democrat Party, they will do everything possible to try to destroy him. You'll see how they have weaponized the federal government. They have weaponized law enforcement, the Department of Justice. They have done everything possible to try to silence him, to try to remove him from the ballot, so we the people don't even have the choice to who we want to vote for. Why have they done this? Because this man has the courage to take them on and root out the deep rot of corruption in the swamp in Washington. Now, voters have made their voices heard loud and clear, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the last 3 presidential elections, nominating this man to be the Republican nominee for president because of his commitment to these fundamental American principles of freedom and peace and prosperity.
What do you guys think?
USA. Now, to those of you here or those watching at home who are independent-minded people like myself, who love our country and are committed to the Constitution and to freedom, the Democrat Party has no home for people like us. But we do have a home in the Republican Party where we are welcomed with open arms by President Trump and so many of you who love our country. And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
What do you think of that? Rob Fernandez, Secretary of State.
I'm
That would be
joining
amazing.
the party of
Make
the
amazing
people,
Secretary of
the
State.
party of equality, the party that was founded to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense and the party that is led by a president who has the courage and strength to fight for peace. So, as we stand here today, we have 14 days until the most historic election of our lives. And my message to my fellow Americans, regardless of your political affiliation, now is the time for us to stand together to save our country. There is nothing less than that that's on the line. A vote for President Trump is a vote for a big open tent party that welcomes people from all backgrounds and all walks of life. A vote for President Trump is a vote to express our deep love for our country and our appreciation for our God-given rights and freedoms enshrined in the Constitution. A vote for President Trump is a vote for secure borders and safe communities, and a vote for President Trump is a vote for peace here in America and around the world. I'm looking forward to casting my vote for President Trump because you are our best and only hope in this election to lead our country toward a future where every one of us can live in a truly free, peaceful, and prosperous nation. Every single vote will count. This is our opportunity to vote for freedom, to vote for peace, to vote for America, and vote for President Trump to go back to the White House and make America great again. Thank you so much.
There you go. What do you guys think? I think she's got a real future in politics. But what could she do? She's from Hawaii. She'd have to move. She can move to Orange County or something. That'd be cool. She can move to Orange County, like Republican part of California, and be a congressperson again. I wonder if she'd want to do that. I wonder what role she's going to get in the White House. If I were, think about Democrats, like, at least to me, it's amazing. They talk about, Kamala talks about the next generation. There is no next generation of Democrats. There's like, how many people were there that are well known, that are seriously contenders to be president next time? I mean, I don't know. Kamala might run again next time. And maybe she'll do. I mean, who knows? But think about Republicans. I mean, I don't know. Elon Musk might get involved with politics, although that would be pretty dumb. I mean, he's got better things to do with his time, is all. Unlike most politicians. But Vivek, Tulsi, JD Vance, Ron DeSantis. They had a number of people like in their 40s, I think still. Young people who are all contenders to be president next time. So it's definitely looking up for the. I don't identify as a Republican for sure. I'm definitely independent. Well, because like I feel like if you identify as a Republican, you're standing with it. Standing with the Republicans is like standing with Israel, kind of, right? Like that's what pretty much the company line is. That you're standing with Israel if you stand with Republicans. So, but Democrats aren't much different, but they're a little different that way. But a lot of times I end up siding with lefties more regarding Israel stuff. I'm an independent, but I do tend to vote for Republicans. All right, so there was Tulsi coming out. She's a Republican. Very excited to see what she does next. Let me show you the black people talking about Kamala. I shouldn't even bother. It's going to cut the sound out. Yeah, sound cut out. People say Tulsi sounds good, especially compared to Kamala. Yeah. Like if you wanted to feed black, no, she's, what is her heritage? Indian also? But if you wanted a minority female candidate and your choice is between Kamala and Tulsi, and you've heard them both speak. Okay, here's some black people saying they're not going to vote for Democrats. Here you go.
What are your feelings? And let me start with the women here about Kamala Harris.
She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that, and I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think that she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. I don't want to be scared because my president is scared. I want my president to feel secure and manly and about it.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman, but she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America, because she don't have the experience. She don't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy.
Right.
Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing that you said 4 years ago.
So the fact that she's the vice president,
that's
to
just
you
the
is
bottom line.
You're like, you've been here, you've had a chance.
Yes. Well, for me, the very first time I ever heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents for truancy. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this person claims to be a Black woman, but yet she's locking up Black women and Black men and separating families.
This is the thing that is, Trump talks about this a lot. He says, you know, Kamala Harris became Black when it was convenient.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like she's wearing her Blackness?
Absolutely. When she sworn into the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
Which is, it's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not Black. Let's understand it. We are all clear of that. But my point of view is, like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
There you go. It is pretty funny. Black people say that she's not Black. And Trump says that, he gets in all kinds of trouble for saying that. And then I have another clip. I might as well just close this because every time that'll save me a step. Oops. I need to get new charging cables. Never buy charging cables from Temu, even if they're cheap. And they work kind of to start out with. All right, hold on. Here's somebody talking about what Obama said, that Black guys were sexist.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that, like what they thought of that.
Deeply offended. I was deeply offended. And it felt like a moment where it's like, you N-words better get in line and do what we say. And it felt like him as the czar of the Democratic Party coming down to say, go get these N-words in line. And the general tone of it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. I don't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it. And Kamala, 2 days after that, is like, we love our Black men. We have programs and things that we're rolling out for them, and she rolled out policy. Good cop, bad cop. You know, because I'm tired of the good cop, bad cop. I'm tired of it.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that.
More. That's all from MSNBC. In some kind of barber shop or something. That's what they always do. Barbershops, because I guess Black guys have to get their hair cut a lot. That's how I figured out. Because it gets nappy quick, so it has to be short. So the short haircut, you go like once a week or something. Then you hang out for a while, get a shave. Getting your haircut once a week is kind of a luxury. Like if you do that, some rich people do that. They get their hair cut all the time, so it always looks nice. All right, so those were Black people talking about Trump. Close that tab. Okay, close these. Oh, Bill Ackman on why he supports Trump. Yeah, this isn't bad. I'll play you guys some more clips. I might be off the next 2 days, Thursday, Friday. It's my dad's 80th birthday. So I got to go up there, visit him and stuff. So I might be off the next few days. So let me show you all the clips you can possibly have. You've been here more than an hour so far. Thanks, Job for 9, for standing up for money and dropping some super chats. We really appreciate those. We are doing this as our job kind of right now. I wake up, I start researching. I know, but you're like, it's kind of easy, right? You're kind of just sitting around all day. Yeah, I guess so. But if you drop super chats, it's cool. If you drop cash apps, coffees, whatever. All right, here's Ackman talking about Trump.
Let's talk about
Elon
team for a
posted
moment,
this.
because it's not really Trump versus Harris. It's the Trump team versus the Harris team, right? So what have we seen? So Trump's picked J.D. Vance as his vice president. I'm afraid of mispronouncing him.
No, it's
Kamala's picked, has picked Walz. Walz is a self-described knucklehead, right? I can't imagine a world in
come on. Everything looks like it's on delay on this end. I got a spinning wheel. I got a spinning wheel on Bill Ackman right now, but it's going to come back. Here, we're counting on it.
which this guy is president of the United States. And you have to look at the vice president as a potential president of the United States. So that's, if I line them up, you know, you've got a guy who grew up in a very, very challenged environment, addiction, family, rural America, makes his way to Yale, armed forces. Now he's, you know, venture capitalist, senator, extremely articulate, obviously highly intelligent. So you compare and contrast. You have Elon Musk, who's probably the, you know, one of the most consequential, certainly consequential business leaders 100%. In the world. It's proven he can take on 12 things at the same time and Mark Cuban and change the world. Okay, you know, who's going to take? He's put himself out here in this election, and first, the only one talking about government efficiency, right? And Trump's all in. By the way, RFK. Okay, RFK is a highly intelligent, capable person, and he's focused on a couple of issues that are mean a lot.
Thanks, Delbert Tube says, "Happy birthday, Mr. Told me." Yeah, it's my dad. My dad's turning 80, or he did actually. So we're going up to see him. Suzette thought it was my birthday, but no, it's not. Mine is coming up though. Mine's coming up November. Gonna be I think I'm gonna be 46. Yeah, 46. Time doesn't matter though. What's time?
A lot to me. Number one, you know, the food industrial complex, what's happened to the health of Americans over the last couple of decades, he's going to focus on that. I think that is a critically important issue. I think examining the 73 shot regime that we give our kids and is worth doing.
You've spent your whole career talking about truth, honestly.
Yes.
You go out there publicly talking about companies that you think are lying.
Sure.
And I just want to know what you think when you see, for example, former President Trump publicly say on the record that he forced Deere to not move to Mexico. And then the company has to come out with a statement that says that that's false, fundamentally false. He puts on Twitter or on social, on his social media platform that Jamie Dimon is endorsing him. And then JP Morgan has to come out publicly and say, that's not true.
Actually, that's not what happened. What happened was Jamie said some positive things about Trump. Someone posted on Twitter that Jamie's endorsing him, and Trump, in effect,
retweeted. Let me ask you this, though. But as somebody who cares about truth, use the Deere example, because that's as black and white as they come.
So look,
what do you think of that?
I think there are probably many examples of Trump convincing or threatening a company that if they open up a factory in Mexico, that he's going to, you know, tariff their goods or whatever, and maybe confuse the company. Okay, but he certainly has used that kind of technique. But let me hold on.
Go ahead.
I want to make my own arguments
You
here.
can, but
you get to do it all day. I get to do it now.
There's lies on both sides. It's like unbelievable.
In her Twitter account,
and lie from
okay, Vice President Harris put stuff out about Trump that are absolutely completely false. Like, so for example, he's going to sign a federal abortion ban. Okay, Trump's not going to sign a federal abortion ban. He's in bold letters, capital letters. He said it publicly. He's posted it. Otherwise, I can give you multiple examples. Just take a look at her Twitter feed, her X feed. It's a series of lies about President Trump. So, you know, she's not some, unfortunate, again, I look forward to a world maybe it's 4 years from now, and we have 2 candidates, and it's November 5th again, and none of them have lied, none of them have personal issues. They're like the world's most incredible candidates, and it's so hard to decide because they're amazing. Human beings are flawed. Donald Trump is flawed.
But
Kamala Harris is flawed.
You think they lie and it's the same. What about like eating pets? No, honestly, I know because
we only got a couple minutes.
Okay, let me focus. Let's talk about the issue. The issue is when you have totally open borders, okay, and you're flying 20,000 immigrants from one culture into a city of 40,000 people, and there isn't sufficient infrastructure, and they don't have driver's licenses, and they have different habits. And by the way, and maybe, it wasn't cats and dogs, but they were, trapping geese in the pond or whatever, whatever the ultimate truth is. There's a symbolic element there.
There you go. So there's Ackman talking about him being challenged on him. Let's see if there's anything else to share with you guys. I've played those. So I have some stuff. There is this interesting story about there's like a leak. There's a leak of documents regarding the Center for Countering Digital Hate going after Twitter by specifically going after advertisers. So that's a big story. There's a story in the media. There's a story about a doctor suppressing stories about puberty blockers. I actually originally titled this video that, but there's a study about puberty blockers that was funded by the government where apparently it didn't show any improvement in mental health symptoms. And the doctor behind it is not publishing it because she thinks it'll be used to stop. She's an activist who does gender treatment for kids and thinks that people will stop using puberty blockers if the study comes out, and therefore has not published it. So that's kind of an interesting thing. It was funded by the government and everything. All right, I think we're good. I can show you one more thing. Nah, that's all right. It's about this person who thinks their kid should be able to go to a veterinarian, but that's just kind of goofy. All right, guys, cool. Thanks for tuning into the show. We got 80 some. We got to figure out my title and thumbnail, make sure it's better. What's going on, Coco? You're late. We're about to sign out. I think somebody says one more thing. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. I'll show you this video about this person.
My son does identify as a cat, but I cannot take him to a vet because I tried that, and the veterinarian told me that because he has human anatomy, that he does not know how to work on him or diagnose him with anything, and he legally cannot. So, and while I do think that is a form of discrimination, because my son, if he says he's a cat, he is a cat, and he needs to be treated like that, like one, But I'm not going to press charges because I know that he could lose his license if he did work on my son. So I'm not gonna try to sue him or anything. So don't worry. But this is something that I want to raise awareness on because I do think that people that identify as an animal should be able to go to the vet. That's the medical attention that they're wanting. And so I really do appreciate you asking this question. I think it's an important topic that we discuss because if we don't, we're never going to make progress. And these people that identify as cats are going to have to continue going to human doctors. And I just don't think that that's fair.
I don't know. I guess it's real. I guess people are really identifying as cats. All right. Well, let's shut it down. We're going to hope Bitcoin goes to the moon. We're going to hope silver goes to the moon. And everything else. Solana was up today for people who are into that cryptocurrency. Solana is up today for some reason more than the other stuff. So we're feeling good about that. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you at the next one. Yeah, not tomorrow. or Friday probably. So have to make it up to you somehow. And you'll have to make it up to me by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil anytime, or going to Cash App. And thanks for the super chats. I think I read all of them. So we're good. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. And we'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.